Hello everyone, in our video today we're going to talk about the 5 most important things to watch in the Canadian real estate market as we look ahead to what 2023 might have in store. In 2022 we heard a lot about inflation and we saw the Bank of Canada make an unprecedented 7 increases to their key lending rate that will push the cost of borrowing much higher. In 2023 we expect to see these policy changes work their way into our real estate market. So what kind of results can we expect? Well, that's what we're here to talk about, so let's dive into it. Okay, so first up, I feel like we're unlikely to see another year of rate increases like we saw in 2022. We've just come off an unprecedented 7 rate increases from the Bank of Canada, going from 0.5% in January 2022 to 4.25% in December 2022. These increases are in response to calls to slow the growth of real estate prices by making debt more expensive for consumers. But 7 increases in 1 year is quite a lot, and so I don't think we should expect to see the same sort of activity in 2022. And if you'd like to know more about the interest rate outlook for 2023, please feel free to check out our video where we cover this topic in detail. Okay, so second on our list, by making debt more than 4 times more expensive for purchasers, we can expect price growth to slow down across the whole country in 2023. The average price of a house in Canada right now is $633,000. And if you were to finance this at 20% down in January of 2022, your payment would be about $2,000 a month. And in December of the same year, your payment has now gone up to $3,000 a month with the increased rates. This is going to make it harder for purchasers to qualify for mortgages to finance higher and higher prices, which will keep prices from escalating to the same extent that we've seen in recent years. So the federal government's desired effect of price stabilization should occur, but there will be unintended consequences to these increased rates, which will lead us to our third trend to watch for 2023, which is decreased transactions. Higher rates, lower qualification amounts, and stabilized prices will mean that home buyers won't be generating equity in their houses quite like we've seen in recent years. Transaction volume almost always trends with pricing because when we have homeowners generating equity, it makes it easier and easier for them to make moves into bigger homes or even purchase vacation properties or investment properties. With stabilized prices, we can expect transaction volume to slow or decrease, so we should expect a slower housing market, which is going to fuel these recessionary fears that are being talked about for next year. And given all of the tangential businesses that touch the real estate industry, like general contractors, lawyers, mortgage brokers, consumer spending on household goods, that type of thing, any entrepreneur in the housing sector should expect it to be a little bit tougher out there in 2023. So number 4 on our list is another common trend that follows increased interest rates, and that's increased rents. We've seen rental rates increase over the last few years, with some studies showing that rents increased by about 16% across the board and across the country in 2022. But increased interest rates as well as additional taxation that's starting to come in, like the federal carbon tax and even localized taxation like the spec tax in BC, will all add more cost to landlords, which will make it more expensive to own and operate income property and build more rental supply across Canada. More cost to landlords will mean only one thing: higher rental rates across the country in 2023. So the government is raising interest rates to slow price growth and reduce demand for real estate. But what about adding supply? Well, this is a much more complex problem, but is one I think we will start to see addressed in 2023. And so our 5th trend to watch is pressure to reduce red tape at the municipal level to increase housing supply. In 2022, we saw Ontario Premier Doug Ford institute strong mayor powers for Toronto and Ottawa, which would give mayors more sway in local government decisions to break deadlocks and speed up decision making at the city council level, which is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to urban housing supply in Canada. And if it works and if it gets favorable attention from Mr. Ford, I think that other premiers across the country will piggyback on his approach and follow suit. We also saw Ford put in a More Homes Built Faster Act, where he is intending to reduce the cost that municipalities can pass on to developers and reduce red tape and improve approval timelines for new real estate projects. This notion of provincial governments stepping in with policy decisions to compel action by their subordinate municipal governments is one we should watch in 2023 and to see if it works its way into federal political discourse. After all, housing supply is most closely affected by municipal government decisions. You can't get anything built without a project approval at City Hall. And so I do feel that we will see these orders of government pulling strings to put more residential real estate into production in 2023. And so I'm going to give you a bonus sixth thing to watch this year, and that's national housing affordability being the most important trend for next year. Young people can't afford to buy real estate in the country they've grown up in. It's one of the unfortunate realities of incredible price growth that we've seen in Canada over the last several years. The rapid increases in pricing has created a generational wealth gap that has young Canadians on the outside looking in, feeling like it will be impossible for them to be able to get into the housing market as they enter their prime working years. But these young Canadians are also voters, and as they grow in age and influence, you can be certain that their voices will get louder, and this will compel action at all levels of government. Politicians that wish to advance their careers will have to pay attention to this concern, and it will lead to increased politicization of the housing affordability topic. So buckle up, Canada. 2022 is a lot of fun. 2023 is going to be wild as well. I can't wait to see you out there. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next video.